Thinking about giving up? Feel like life hasn't given you a fair shot? What if I told you you can create your own shot? Lisa had no resources, no coach, and everyone told her she couldn't make it. But she didn't let anyone decide her limits. She made it to the Olympics. Want to see how? Watch her story and get ready to believe in yourself again. From a very young age, Lisa knew her life wouldn't be easy. She grew up in a humble neighborhood, where opportunities seemed scarce and the future uncertain. Her father was a construction worker, and her mother a seamstress. Although money was always tight, her parents never spared efforts to give Lisa and her siblings a decent life. But Lisa was different. There was something inside her that made her dream of a future far beyond what the neighborhood offered. She wanted to be an Olympic athlete, a dream that, to many around her, seemed absurd. Every morning, while her friends were still sleeping, Lisa would go out running through the empty streets. Her feet hit the asphalt hard, as if hammering her determination with every step. There were no tracks, no coaches, just the road, her worn-out sneakers, and an unbreakable will. Many times, she came home exhausted, but with a smile on her face, imagining herself crossing the finish line in a packed stadium. People around her didn't understand her dedication. "You'll never make it," they said. "Leave that to those who can afford a real coach." These words, though harsh, didn't break Lisa. On the contrary, every criticism was like gasoline poured on the fire of her passion. She used every no as motivation to keep going. During school breaks, while her classmates were busy with other activities, Lisa trained alone. There were no coaches to correct her technique or financial incentives. Only her inner voice telling her that one day she would compete among the best. Sometimes the criticism intensified. The cruel comments became more frequent, and even her closest friends said that perhaps it was time to give up. But Lisa didn't quit. She knew that the path to success was lonely and often misunderstood. One day, there was a small regional competition. It wasn't a big opportunity, but for Lisa, it represented a step toward her dream. The event was organized by a local school, and athletes from various neighboring regions participated. Despite being visibly less equipped than the other competitors, Lisa ran with the same determination as always. She didn't win, but she placed third, which was impressive to many, given that she had no coach or technical support. It was in this small victory that she realized, no matter how hard it was, she was closer to her goal. The years passed, and Lisa continued to train. She split her time between studies and work to help her family, but never abandoned her training. Even exhausted, she forced herself to go out and run every morning. The routine was relentless, and her body often gave in to fatigue, but her mind refused to surrender. Then, one day, when it seemed that opportunities would never come, Lisa received news that would change her life forever. A scout from an athletics team had watched the regional competition and was impressed by her strength and determination. He offered Lisa a scholarship to train at one of the country's best academies. It was her golden chance. She had fought so hard, for so long, and now the universe seemed to be rewarding her. In the first few days of professional training, Lisa realized how much she still had to learn. The competition was fierce, and the other athletes were far more experienced. But Lisa knew she was there on her own merit. Every mistake was a lesson, every challenge an opportunity to improve. She was like a sponge, absorbing everything her coaches said, adjusting her technique, and pushing her physical and mental limits. Months later, she qualified for her first national competition. What once seemed impossible was becoming a reality. The stadium was packed, the lights shone brightly, and Lisa was there, at the starting line, ready to compete with the country's best athletes. The nerves were palpable, but she focused. The starting gun echoed, and Lisa ran like never before. Every step reaffirmed that she belonged in that place. She didn't win the competition, but her performance was enough to secure a spot on the national team. Finally, the big day arrived. Lisa was about to compete in the Olympics. The same dream that had seemed so distant in her humble neighborhood was now about to come true. The world was watching. She thought about all the sacrifices she had made, the times she had been doubted, and the hard road she had traveled to get there. But now, at the moment of truth, Lisa knew she had already won, regardless of the outcome. When she crossed the finish line, it didn't matter whether she had won a medal or not. What mattered was that she had exceeded all expectations, even her own. Lisa proved to herself and to the world that you will win, even when everyone says you won't.